So it's always started in 2014. So after dedicating over 25 years working in leadership roles in the technology industry, including serving as a GM and president in the Latin America operations for Sun Microsystems and Motorola Solutions, I decided to embark on a transformative and exciting journey and a career transition from being a corporate executive to work as a leadership coach, assisting other organization leaders and their teams to unleash their full leadership potential and being at their best. So while I was still engaged in my last corporate role in Zebra Technology at that time, and after completing several coaching certifications programs, I felt compelled to further my education and better prepare myself to assist senior global leaders in the areas of leadership development and lead change effectively. So in 2015, I joined a master program at INSEAD in Fontainebleau, France, named the Master of Consulting and Coaching for Change. So at that program, I learned alongside an outstanding senior and diverse group of individuals from different industries and cultures. And this 2-year program combined business, organization behavior, and psychology, helped me to understand the drivers of human behaviors and the hidden commitments of dynamics of organizations and group relations. The insights I gained during the program continue to inform my practice and approach as executive coach when I assist other global leaders and their teams in their leadership development journey. I remember that one of the initial pivotal moments of reflection and insight I had in the program happened early in the sessions we had at the program when I watched the video from Professor Sumantra Ghoshal of his presentation at the World Economic Forum in 1995, when he introduced the concept of the smell of the place. This concept resonated with me deeply and stuck with me, influenced my perspective on the role of leadership and organization culture. Professor Ghoshal actually passed away in 2004, and last year he was recognized by the Thinkers 50 Hall of Fame as one of the top leaders thinkers of all time. So let's collectively immerse ourselves in the first 2 minutes of his insightful video presentation. Here is Professor Sumantra Ghoshal message at the World Economic Forum in Davos in 1995.
Individuals do not change fundamentally in who they are without a very serious personal crisis of some kind. But the conclusion, again, for us, perhaps the key conclusion is that is a wrong question to ask. Revitalizing people has a lot less to do with changing people and has a lot more to do with changing the context that companies, that senior managers, that people in this room create around their people. Now, context, some manager called it the smell of the place. It's a hard thing to describe. And then let me try to describe it the best way I experience it, through my sort of personal experience, if you wish. I teach at the London Business School. I live in London, have done so for the last year and a half. Before that, I lived in Fontainebleau in France for about 8 years. But one look at me, and then one sound of my accent, and you know I do not come from either of these two wonderful places in the world. I come from India. From the eastern part of India. My hometown is the city of Calcutta. So every year I go to Calcutta in the month of July. That's the only time when my children have a summer vacation. Now, Calcutta is a wonderful town in winter, autumn, and spring. But summer, well, the temperature is 102, 103. The humidity is about 99%. And I feel very tired. Most of my vacation, I'm tired. I'm indoors. I used to live in Fontainebleau. And this I genuinely challenge you. Go to the forest of Fontainebleau in spring. Go with a firm desire to have a leisurely walk. And you can't. The moment you enter the forest, there is something about the crispness of the air. There is something about the smell of the trees in spring. You'd want to jump. You'd want to jog. You want to catch a branch, run, do something. And that, I believe, is the essence of the problem. Most companies, particularly large companies, have created downtown Calcutta in summer inside themselves. And then they complain. They say, you know, you are lazy and you don't take initiative and you don't take cooperation. You are not changing the company. Thesis is not about changing me. I have a lot of energy in spring in Fontainebleau, and I'm a bit tired in summer in Calcutta, and that's the issue. To change ultimately beyond all these abstractions of strategy, of organization, of processes, at the end, the issue is, how do we change the context? How do we create Fontainebleau forest inside companies?
So the big question to ask was, how do we create Fontainebleau forest inside the companies? And that caught my attention at that time. The interesting fact that it's also the Fontainebleau forest is known for its positive energy and vibes, is right behind the INSEAD campus. So after seeing that video in the morning, I could not wait to experience the forest myself. So before going to the hotel at the end of the day class, I walked a few blocks in the campus, and as soon as I walk in the forest, I witnessed the afternoon sunlight cutting across the trees, highlighting the rocks. I immediately reconnected with Sumantra's message and the described feelings of high energy, happiness, a fresh sense of freedom, and a surge of positive emotions that emerged just by being there. It was desire to connect, to enjoy, and be in the flow state that really hits me. Reflecting upon this, I recall a few moments in my own career journey when I had similar feelings. In the 10 minutes video of Professor Ghoshal, he emphasized the imperative role of leaders in establishing an organizational context of stretch, discipline, trust, support, essentially crafting their own Fontainebleau forest within their organizations. The video sparked my curiosity. So what leadership competences are essential for leaders to drive such profound transformation within their organization? The INSEAD program and the interaction with my colleagues continues with multiple learnings and insights along the way. In my journey to get deeper studying emotional intelligence, transformation, and situational leadership, few months later, during a conversation with a colleague outside INSEAD, I came across another enlightening message from Maya Angelou, who was a recognized American philosopher, author, and civil rights activist. And it struck with me profoundly, offering a fresh perspective of human interaction and influence. Maya Angelou wisely states, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So this insight seemed its beautiful complement to Sumantra's smell of the place concept, urging leaders to consider influence and setting the right context, emotional context on the organizations, while driving change and organization excellence. It made me think, how essential is the emotional capability of a leader in shaping that organization context and the experience and feelings of the teams? How does it contribute to achieving and sustaining excellence within the organization? So these reflections, Sumantra and Angelou's message, were important for me in shaping the theme of my thesis at INSEAD, focus on the exploration of emotional-based leadership competence, which I believe are essential for achieving and sustaining organization excellence, a concept which I later framed as emotional proficiency for excellence. One of my main thesis proposition was that emotional proficiency for excellence combines a set of AI, emotional intelligence capabilities, through the use of transformational leadership behaviors, but most importantly, creating actions that elicit positive emotions, allowing leaders to manage the emotional context of the organization effectively to achieve success. Emotional proficiency for excellence is not just about being self-aware of leaders' emotions or mindful about other people's emotional states. It's about transmuting this understanding into actionable strategy and actions that elevate leadership effectiveness and propel new team dynamics to new heights, and the ability to lead change more effectively. It's all about creating a workplace environment and an organizational context filled with more positive influence, engagement, and driving organization towards sustained excellence. So why did I decide to learn to study Michelin star chefs? So 10 years before I went back to INSEAD in the grad school in 2005, when I was still working as a general manager in the tech industry, I got hooked on a reality show TV named Hell's Kitchen. It was a fun show and full of drama, showing Chef Ramsay yelling at people, throwing away food not cooked properly, and calling out people whoever were not performing well, and shocking everybody with a rude attitude and reactive behaviors. The show got me thinking at that time, were those scenes real? And could a boss of a leader in an organization be like Chef Ramsay, really make an organization to succeed and work well in the long term? So many years later, when I was then in the INSEAD, I watched a new launch documentary from Netflix called Chef's Table, which actually tell amazing life and leadership stories about the best chefs of the world. And I observed that their leadership style were consistent and totally different than what I saw in previous Top Chefs reality shows or competitions in the past. All of this got me really curious. I want to know more about how top Michelin chef stars, the real achievers in the cooking world, led their teams. Do they really act like Chef Ramsay or similar reality shows we had at that time? Or is there a different way to be a great leader while achieving success and staying at the top? I want to explore and learn more about the kind of leadership style that really works, but most important, about the leadership elements that can really last. It's also very common and easily to run benchmark analysis or assessments in the same industry we work, where we are more familiar. It would be much easier for me just to run interviews for my thesis with leaders in the tech industry, where I worked for many years, but I thought, why not go outside my usual space and industry and look for leaders that share similar challenge to achieve and sustain their organization excellence and capture insights that could be leveraged elsewhere. I also thought, why not leverage this opportunity to connecting with one of my long-term personal passions for cooking and gastronomy, which you also describe in the book. So I decided to research a group of excellent and recognized top chefs, Michelin star leaders, for my INSEAD thesis, and explore with them the concept of emotional proficiency for excellence. So equipped with a well-established leadership framework, integrating 3 emotional-based leadership theories well studied in the past, I set out on an exciting journey. My adventure involving a deeper analysis of 10 episodes of the Netflix series Chef's Table that I mentioned, each one featuring leadership stories and leadership lessons from top chefs around the world. I also interview and interact directly with top chefs and run 15 on-site interviews with renowned Michelin star chefs in their restaurants across Spain, France, Singapore, and United States to discuss their leadership approach and emotional proficiency for excellence. Notably, 2 of those chefs I interviewed were actually featured in the Netflix series. Chef Dominique Crane, a 3-star Michelin chef, owner of Atelier Crane in San Francisco, and Chef Enrique Olvera, most famous chefs in Mexico and consistent part of the top 50 best restaurants in the world list. So I integrate a list of 23 chefs that I had studied. I also did organization analysis and observation in the restaurants I visit, leveraging some of the tools and approaches learned at INSEAD, speaking with the staff and clients, particularly sensing the smell of the place. And also had a full and fun client experience in most of the restaurants I could visit. So here are some of the key leadership insights and predominant leadership competence and style I had identified during this journey. First of all, passion and conformity are predominant elements of top chefs' leadership style. In the passion, leaders express their passion through confidence, through enthusiasm, and optimism. These passionate leaders are usually charismatic and exhibit high energy. They inspire their teams with a clear, compelling vision of the future, generating positive emotions of hope and engagement. They are also nonconformists. These leaders are not afraid to take risks. They learn from their failures, and they're always ready to challenge the status quo and advocate for change. These traits foster a culture of creativity and constant innovation, enabling continuous improvements in their craft. They are also very resilient. Their passion for their profession, full of their resilience and stress management capabilities, it's evident that their journey to success is filled with challenge. Yet, they have managed to rally and align others around a shared vision and purpose, even when faced with adversity and resistance to attain and sustain success. One of the examples I came from Chef Grant Schatz, who is the chef owners of the awarded 3-star Michelin restaurant Alinea in Chicago, exemplifying his philosophy. In a notable moment of the Netflix series I watched, he highlighted his decision to close and revamp his successful restaurant at their peak of success. He asked at that time, why fix something that's not broke? Why we eliminate what we've been doing successful for 10 years and start over? And his answer was, yes, because we can. So this reflects Chef Schatz's mission and philosophy to continuously reinvent himself and his organization with unwavering confidence and passion. If we look back at Clayton Christensen's book, The Innovation Dilemma, we see many stories of companies that were not able to continue to reinvent themselves and fail, and how difficult it is to have the courage and the confidence to start over when you are at the peak of your success. One of the leadership competencies I identify in the Passionate Nonconformist leaders is enthusiasm and optimism. Enthusiasm and optimism are the cornerstone of passionate leaders, serving as an anchor, motivating and inspiring those around them. These leaders envision a superior future, instilling feelings of hope, with evoke positive emotions and the aspirations to be part of a better tomorrow. Optimists foresee positive results, while passionate nonconformists has a fervent desire to create and drive these positive outcomes. The professional journey of Chef David Arnaus is a testament to this. Back in 2016, he was a proud owner of a 1 Michelin star restaurant in Navarra, Spain, when I interviewed him, El Molino de Oraniz. Since then, his accomplishments have soared. He got a 2nd star in the restaurant in Navarra and opened a new restaurant in Taipei, Taiwan, which also been honored with the 2nd Michelin star. Chef Arnaus shared with me in his interview a decisive moment of his early career during our interaction. He reconnected with the Madrid Fusion Gastronomy Conference in 2004, where he was invited to prepare the event cocktail, a special honor and opportunity to shine, usually reserved for young and emerging chefs, and with a unique opportunity to catering to 1,500 chefs from all over the world attending the important conference. So leading a small family restaurant then, the immense task of preparing 15,000 tapas was intimidating for him due to infrastructure constraint at that time. So, however, refusing such invitation was out of question. It was a defining moment for him, a chance to communicate with 1,500 palates. So Chef Arnaus embraced the challenge with optimism and fervor, strategizing and planning to address all the challenges involved and assembling a great and motivated team to join him to face this challenge. Keeping the enthusiasm, optimism, and prepare for the challenge was key. For example, during the 2 months before the event, they did a lot of prep work, including pre-cooking large pots, 3 pots a day, right, of stock sauces every day to prepare for the event. The event turned out to be a monumental success, affirming the power of enthusiasm, optimism, and preparation in overcoming the obstacles and achieving the excellence. Another important leadership competence, which might not come as a surprise when we think about top chefs, is innovation and creativity. However, I learned that success doesn't come and be sustained just by a created chef alone, but rather by chefs that are able to fostering the right organization context and environment where innovation and creativity can be flourished. So Chef Eric Ripper, which holding a 3-star Michelin star at his restaurant Le Bernardin in New York City, shared with me during his interview, creativity is a process, it's not permanent. It comes and goes. It's not like pressing a button and saying, now I'm creative and then pressing another button and turn it off, dimming the lights, and then saying there's no more creativity. It's like a farmer who plants seeds in good soil. They create a very fertile soil environment that is useful for planting seeds, which are ideas that can bloom. Then these ideas become dishes, and when they taste them and they are satisfied, they include them in the menu. So creativity is a journey, a consistent effort to cultivate an environment where ideas can be seeded and nurtured. A leader can clearly make an impact and is essential in creating and sustaining an environment where individuals feel motivated and inspired to contribute, thinking creatively and innovate. Chef Julien Royer, a 3-star Michelin chef, owner of Haute restaurant in Singapore, reported to me on his interview in 2016 that he orchestrates monthly challenge with his team, promoting a platform where they can express and challenge themselves. He usually engaged 16 members grouped in pairs, assigning them to the same ingredient to develop a new recipe. This endeavor set an organizational context for research, cooking, and testing. The tasteful and unique recipes get a chance to be featured on the menu, encouraging them on a continuous cycle of innovation and learning. Flexibility. Flexibility relates to the leader's ability to adapt emotions, thoughts, and behaviors to the unfamiliar, unpredictable, and dynamic circumstances or ideas. It's closely related to the capability to adapt and change. So let's talk about Chef Enrique Olvera. Early in his career, he already a renowned chef in Mexico at that time, and he had a moment of realization after receiving feedback from a peer friend, another very famous chef in Mexico. He was told that despite he being a great chef already, his food was not truly authentic and Mexican. This feedback everything, and Chef Olvera decided to dive deeper into the essence of the Mexican cuisine and reinvent his restaurant menu to reflect true Mexican flavors. This led to a higher level of authenticity and innovation in his dishes and took his career to a much higher level. Then there's Chef Julien Royer again from Odette. When he set up his restaurant in Singapore, he had to adjust his recipe, reducing the amount of salt to cater to local Asian palates. It's a simple change, but it shows how his flexibility, considering understanding of his guest preference at the deeper level and the ability to adapt. And who could forget about Italian chef Massimo Bottura, chef owner of the 3-star Michelin restaurant Osteria Francescana in Modena. In his Netflix documentary, when they were preparing and serving the last available lemon tart, it dropped accidentally in the counter of the kitchen. And instead of panicking, Chef Bottura handled the situation with calm and had the capability to reframe the moment and turn it into a new innovative dish, who later he named Oops, I Dropped the Lemon Tart, which is still part of his menu today. So these stories from the culinary world showcase that being open to change and adapting quickly are crucial. Whether it's modifying a recipe to suit local taste buds, redesigning a menu to be more authentic, or turning an accident into a masterpiece, these chefs demonstrate the importance of flexibility in leadership. The second leadership archetype I describe in my book refers to the chef that exemplified the essence of determined leaders, embodying a clear, relentless visions of success, similar to an eagle, unwavering focus on its prey. They navigate seamlessly between meticulous attention to culinary details and holistic oversight of the dining experience, ensuring perfection in every dish while fostering exceptional interactions with the customers. They lead with effective situational awareness, being able to zoom in, to zoom out, looking at the detail and the big picture, depending on the situation, and by being able to delegate and empower their teams more effectively. A determined eagle-eye leader is characterized by, first of all, detail-oriented precision. Driven by results and perfections, they are committed to achieving the high standards, promoting quality and accuracy in every aspect of their work, which is critical in industries where precision is paramount. They are also focused on continuous improvement. By upholding and striving for excellence, they instill a culture of continuous improvement within the team, increasing overall efficiency and effectiveness, fostering organizational excellence. They also act as inspirational role models. Through consistent high-quality work and high standards, they serve as a motivational figures within the organization, cultivating an image and culture of excellence and contributing to the organization overall success and efficacy. So what is the star of your plate? The central value guiding your actions and decisions. So in every organization, clear vision is fundamental. It encompasses directing every action and decision. Much like a gourmet dish, where every element is meticulously chosen and arranging, a vision statement is about underscoring the core essence, the star around which everything else revolves. It's a magnet force that wins minds and hearts, sparkling a collective drive to elevate the essence, to create a unique, memorable experience for those the organization serve. In the culinary world of the Le Bernardin restaurant in New York, a clear vision steers every dish. The fish is the star of the plate. This vision shared by Chef Henrique Ripert when I interview him is more than a culinary philosophy. It's a guiding destination for every member of his team, informing that every interaction, decision, and customer experience, ensuring that every element on the plate serves to elevate the fish. He had also complemented his vision, sharing that for the restaurant, his vision and philosophy is about treat all the customers with respect and work together as a team to create a unique customer experience. Another example of a great vision I noticed during my research was a statement hanging on Chef Nick Nakayama two-star restaurant and Naka in Los Angeles that says exactly like this: every day better in every way. Everything is done with focus, heart, gratitude, love, care, purpose, intention, and faith. So, considering your actions, how do they mirror your values? How is integrity molding the proper organization context, aligning values and actions? Integrity is a foundational pillar of leadership, driving alignment, fostering authenticity, and building trust within the organization. It's all about aligning actions with values, thereby creating a transparent and honest organization culture of leaders that are walking their talk, which can have a real impact in multiple areas. For example, organizational alignment. Leaders with integrity can create a more cohesive and unfeeling environment, ensuring that the entire team works toward common goals, enhancing organization productivity. They also enable authenticity and trust. Leaders who are transparent and honest in their communication forge a culture of trust and respect, cultivating a positive and more collaborative work relationships. In the statement and the quote I have on this slide, Chef Emma, the Swedish chef Emma Bergson from the Aquavit restaurant, that's a two-star Michelin restaurant in New York City, reinforced the importance of integrity by creating both a respectful and a precise kitchen environment. She lives the value she sets, guiding her kitchen to resonate a mutual respect and meticulous attention to the detail, ensuring that every interaction is value infused. She and her sous chefs work close and side by side with the cooks, treating people respectfully while driving the required precision for their cuisine. So how you navigate your challenge, how building your stress tolerance can amplify your leadership capabilities and create a more harmonious context in your organization. Stress tolerance is fundamental for sustaining balance and make good informed decisions in challenge situations. Stress tolerance relates to the ability to manage and persevere through adversity and challenge situations without succumbing to emotional or physical breakdowns. It involves confronting difficulties and maintaining a productive and harmonious organization environment, particularly vital in high-stakes settings like the haute cuisine. This skill is critical for leaders to navigate challenge effectively, ensuring a balanced and harmonious organization context and environment, and is particularly crucial in high-pressure situations where timely and precise decision-making is required. One of the examples of stress tolerance I refer in the book relates to Chef Maria Marte's resilience journey. As a woman of color and a Dominican Republic immigrant, she had the dream to become a culinary chef. And start by cleaning floors and dishes at El Club Allarde, a recognized two-star Michelin restaurant led by another famous chef I interviewed, Chef Diego Guerrero. She was able to develop through the kitchen ranks, starting as a cook, and many years later, after being mentored by top chef Guerrero, she became his main sous chef and right hand. At a certain point, Chef Guerrero decided to leave the restaurant after a conflict with the owners, and part of the staff actually left with him. It was a tough moment for Chef Maria Marte, but she had the courage to take over the operation. The market didn't know her very well, since Chef Guerrero had been the face of the Club Allarde for many years, and there were serious doubts in the market if she could retain their Michelin stars. So she hired new team members. She actually changed the menu, bringing some Caribbean flavors to Spain. And by acting with a strong stress tolerance to deal with multiple challenges, she was able to keep the two-star successful for many years. And in 2014, she was awarded the Best Head Chef of the Year by the Spanish Academy of Gastronomy, an honor that very few women chefs have ever achieved. Her story is known in Spain as the Kitchen Cinderella. So how do you embody a trust coach role? How do you foster continuous development within your team? The third and last leadership archetype, a trusted coach, enhance team development and organization excellence. A trust coach is a leader who is devoted to supporting, empowering team members, guiding their development, enhancing their capabilities, all while fostering an environment that promotes efficiency and excellence across the organization. They also are very focused on encouraging development. This leadership archetype not only enhances individual and organization capabilities, but also boosts motivations and engagement within the team, creating a culture that values continuous learning, improvement, and a growth mindset. When I interviewed the Spanish chef Martín Berasategui at his 3-star restaurant in Las Artes Oria, close to San Sebastián in Spain, I asked him how difficult it was for him to achieve his goal in his professional and personal journey. Chef Berasategui has 12 Michelin stars in Spain, the higher ever achieved by any in the country by any other chef. And he just took over the Club Allarde in Madrid since Chef Maria Marte left 2 years ago to go back to Dominican Republic. And since she left, the restaurant lost all their Michelin star, by the way. So Chef Berasategui, during his interview, he told me he doesn't really believe it was that hard to achieve his professional goals, especially referring how he normally thinks when he faces his challenge. For him, the profession of chef de cuisine is a long one and a continuous carrera. The curious thing is that the word carrera in Spanish has a double meaning. Carrera means career, and carrera means race. So suggesting that his professional race doesn't have really a final single line. It's something more like connected with a continuous journey of developing, learning, and preparation. As a result, a successful career requires for individuals to be always trained for their career, prepare, and full shape for their careers, meaning either career or races. Chef Berasategui also provided me an analogy with the sponge, right? He also used the metaphor of the sponge to describe an element of leadership style that he values in his leaders. Leaders should keep the sponge wet, symbolizing ongoing learning and ensuring team members continue to grow and achieve their potential. In his quote, he said, The teacher must ensure that the students wring out the sponge every day. Each morning, when they rise, they need to see that they're thoroughly soaked. If you forget to moisten the sponge, which dries out daily, the fault is not theirs, but the teacher's. In essence, adopting a trust coach leadership style and mentality involves providing a solid support and encouragement, ensuring both the individual and the collective growth of the team to support their drive to achieve organizational success and excellence. Chef Martin's approach and wisdom underline the critical role of the leaders in ensuring the growth and the development of their team members. Emotional self-awareness is critical for leadership effectiveness and also to become a trust coach. Emotional self-awareness involves recognizing, understanding, and regulate our own emotions, thoughts, and behavior, and understand how they affect others. It impacts leadership capabilities. So being aware of our emotions help leaders to stay calm, respond effectively, and create a positive work environment by avoiding or regulating potential reactive or derailing response and behaviors. It can also enhance communication and collaboration. Emotional self-awareness supports empathetic and active listening and responsiveness, making interactions more productive and building teamwork and trust, which are critical to acting as a trust coach to others. It supports a positive organization culture by demonstrating emotional self-awareness, also contributes to be more collaborative and efficient organization culture. In my interview with Chef Henrique Ripert, he referred to a critical moment of his career journey. So over 30 years ago, when he was still a young chef, his nonconformist led him to explosive reactions with his staff, including yelling in the kitchen and not really treating people well. So which were driving people away, people were leaving, and hindering his happiness and success. So upon realizing this, he made a significant change. He reflected that he was not really happy at that time with his life, and he was able to adjust his behavior and leadership style. This shift not only brought him personal happiness, but also paved the way for sustaining success in his career by fostering a better working environment. So in order to gain situational awareness and develop greater situational leadership and being better trust coach for their teams, leaders must develop their emotional self-awareness. Individual consideration is another fundamental component of acting as a trusted coach. Individual consideration means giving tailored support and attention to each team member by acknowledging their unique needs and aspirations. It can boost people engagement. Leaders who exhibit individual consideration make team members feel valued and appreciated, thereby increasing their engagement, motivation, ownership, and accountability, which in turn amplify productivity and innovation within the organization. It also supports organization development. This leadership trait allows the leaders to effectively meet each member's developing needs, creating a learning environment that promotes ongoing growth and improvement, a cornerstone for sustaining organizational success. It also nurtured a positive culture, showing individual consideration, helping building a supportive and positive environment that encourages collaboration, trust, and fruitful communication, which are vital for flourishing organization culture. Chef Henrique Ripert emphasized during his interview his focus on continuous learning and mastery over various elements to support organization excellence, such as practical tasks, techniques, the what, right? But also the behavior attitudes, including leadership capabilities, the how we do things. His method not only keeps teams engaged and loyal, but also promotes an ongoing evolution, aligning practical skills with the values, the principles, and the spirit of the organization. By prioritizing individual consideration, Chef Henrique managed the intertwined personal development with organization growth and achievement. So imagine this scene. In 2016, my wife and I were sitting in a lovely flower garden at the Relais de la Poste, a famous hotel and a 2-star Michelin restaurant in a small town of Majesque in southwest of France. So we were waiting to talk with the chef owner, Jean Coisseau, but something unexpected happened. So a person quickly walked by us holding a big fresh caught salmon in the basket. Suddenly, all the cooks of the restaurant and many staff members went out and came outside and running and gathering around the fish and smiling and talk over each other. At the first, we thought something was wrong, right? But when I asked, we learned something beautiful. The employees were actually honoring the first salmon caught by the local waters in the season. So this salmon we soon cooked and served to guests in the restaurant, but it was a small, kind way of saying thank you to the ingredient that is so central to their work. It also marked the start of the salmon fishing season. This experience really stuck with me, and it was all about respecting the product, which is super important in top-level cooking. There's a real thankfulness for the seasonal ingredients, whatever they grow on the land or caught in the river or the sea. For instance, salmon is not caught during the spawning season to help protect the species. So being aware of social issues, respecting the changing seasons, and being committed to using seasonal products are all key and high connected with the meaningful work in which the employees engage. This was something I really felt when I researched Top Chefs. So respecting people, the client, but also the product they work is tightly linked with making work more meaningful. It lines up with the idea of creating actions that bring out positive emotions, making work enjoyable and pleasant. In the world of high gastronomy, meaningful work can be built through various lenses. Number one, I already mentioned, is the respect for the product, for the ingredient. So leaders like Chef Eric Ripper hold deep regard by using premium products, sustainable ingredients, fostering a commitment to quality and environment consciousness within the team. Chef David Yarnos from El Molino Ordaniz reinforced his philosophy of treating every product with the same level of respect, either being a scallion or expensive cut of meat or a lobster. Recognizing that all products that goes in the plate, all ingredients that goes in the plate can contribute to complement each other to delivering an excellent customer experience. He mentioned his own satisfaction of surprising a client with a dish that honors a simple and seasonable product, as such as an artichoke, an asparagus, or even an scallion with creativity and technique. Number two, I noticed as well that most of the chefs use narratives through their menus. Chefs like Massimo Bottura narrate stories through their dishes, creating a unique emotional connection with the customers and building a shared sense of purpose within their teams. Chef Yarnos from Spain also shared with me the insights he had when he was a young student and trained at the famous restaurant Celler de Can Roca, one of the top restaurants in the world. And he was surprised that in his last day, before he completed his internship, one of the top chef's owners sit with him in another example of individual consideration, as I mentioned before. And the chef described and connect a story for every dish in the menu, with a clear explanation of purpose and meaning. So since that time, Chef Yarnos told me that he followed the same philosophy in his restaurants, that in the menu needs to be grounded solid in a clear purpose and meaning, which integrate his team behind the customer service they want to provide to their customers. So how do you instill a sense of meaningful work and share purpose within your team to foster a deeper connection with your mission, your product, and your customers? So I want to close this presentation now by just sharing you some 3 final thoughts and reflections that I have through this journey. So number one, I think the value of leadership learnings from multiple places. We'll find great leadership lessons talking and connect with people from multiple backgrounds and industries. professions, or cultures. There are leadership lessons to be learned in more places than we usually imagine and consider, where we can be curious, pay attention, listen, and learn. Number two, I think the value of associate learning opportunities with personal passions can be really pleasant and exciting. I really encourage all of you, whenever possible, combine your professional learning opportunities with your personal passions in life, as it just makes it more pleasant to learn. And last but not least, I want to leave you with a reminder of Chef Berasateg's insights of being in a learning journey versus a destination. Always preparing and continue training for your life carrera, whatever that means for each one of you individually. So with that, I want to thank you again for sticking with me through this presentation. So after this launch, I will send you all a link to download a courtesy copy of the ebook version in English. I would really appreciate if you could provide me a review at Amazon.com, at Apple Books, or Goodreads, to contribute to my journey to inspire other younger leaders around the globe to continue to develop their emotional proficiency for excellence. Thank you.